tell us for potential other dark horse candidates out there, people who are uh, never saw themselves in elected office. When they look at who gets elected, they don't see themselves reflected back.
Yeah.
What's your advice for entering and running a campaign that ultimately gets you into those
Yeah.
spaces?
For me, the first thing that's critically important is knowing your why. For me, I was asked the question by my pastor, what breaks your heart? Know what that is, and then do something about it. For me, in the midst of that hardship and seeing my mother, battle cancer, taking her to her chemotherapy appointments, and then also seeing her medical expenses come, in which again, Medicare and Medicaid covered 100%. And then also recognizing that there were hundreds of thousands of Georgians, my fellow neighbors, who didn't have the same fighting opportunity. That ultimately became my why as to why I felt I needed to just even share my mother's story, to recognize and find common ground with folks from different backgrounds and experiences of this is just a human right when all is said and done, especially when we have the capacity to provide life-saving care. Why aren't we doing more to ensure that all Georgians, all Americans have that sort of access to care? When I first began my foray in on the campaign trail, that was a unique experience for me. I never really run for anything at all. But for me, I kind of, brought it down to the basics, which was just talking, having a conversation, going door to door. I recall, the first door that I knocked on and when someone opened it up, I froze because I just didn't know what to say, and we ended up having a great conversation. He thanked me profusely because he had lived in the area for 10, 20 years and no one had ever asked him for his vote. And that kind of began, my campaign journey, in which my team and we knocked tens of thousands of doors. I shared that same story of why I was running for office. And after I shared my motivation, my reason for being there at their door asking for their vote, I asked, what do you care about? And that led into a great conversation in which I felt like I really had the opportunity to, one, build trust by simply being present and asking what voters wanted, and then two, getting a better understanding of what the district needed, in which I represent a very diverse district, but when all is said and done, there was a lot of common ground. People wanted safe communities, they wanted good schools, good jobs. And ultimately, that helped formulate my campaign message, though it was, again, my personal motivation and the why of healthcare that I think was able to get me across the finish line.